I hope it didn't come too naturally. Thanks, Janet. I'm so thrilled to be here. I'm fairly new with Puppies Behind Bars, and I'm very proud to work with the organization. And in addition to thanking our trainers, Janet and Michelle out here, and all the people who helped them, and all of you for coming, I want to just mention again Kate Lorenz, our program director, who runs this dog tags program with so much diligence and passion. And one of the things I'll mention briefly, Kate and Gloria have a very daunting process of reviewing all the applications we receive from veterans. And there's no question but that any veteran who's been wounded in the service of our country deserves our full support and any kind of help that we as citizens and that our government and that our organization can give them. But our organization is small and we can't provide dogs to everyone. And we have to look very closely at who can most benefit from the dogs and also who can really take on the challenges of having the dogs. Janet mentioned the intensive training they had to go through and the courage it took for them to recognize their injury and seek treatment for their injury. We also, Kate and Gloria in particular, need to look at who's going to be capable of being the public face of post-traumatic stress disorder. And by the very presence of their service dogs, these 4 brave veterans are willing to state publicly that they have a psychological injury. And in doing so, they help every veteran and every citizen who suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder immeasurably. So we thank you so much for that. And we have another wonderful guest here today. And he's come here at his own expense. He heard of our organization earlier this summer and called us up to say, how can I help? And we took him up on that offer, as you'll see. John Huertas is a very talented young actor with a blossoming career. I think John could particularly relate to that story because he's a veteran himself. He served for 8 years in the Air Force Special Forces. He saw service in Iraq and at other points around the world, actually. So we're very, very pleased and honored that John has offered to help us by coming to events like this and most importantly by doing outreach to the community of military veterans around the country and by speaking to them and letting them know about our program. So it gives me great pleasure to welcome John Huertas.
Congratulate him again for his Rudy Award. I'm really honored to be here. I thank you guys for inviting me to this graduation. Since I read about this program, heard about this program, I wanted to be involved in it because I think it's one of the most amazing organizations because of what Gloria said is how it affects the prisoners and the inmates that train these dogs and how it affects the veterans that get these dogs. These dogs are rehabilitating people their entire lives from the time they're born, 6 weeks or 8 weeks, whenever they're weaned off their mother. They are rehabilitating someone. And I think it's about love. I mean, these dogs show these inmates who possibly never had love growing up and maybe what drove them to maybe do something wrong that's incarcerated them. It shows them, how to love an animal and how to accept love from this animal. And that's the same thing this animal's going to do for these guys. They're going to have unconditional love for these animals for the rest of these animals' lives. And it's definitely going to heal them. Since I was born, I've heard the term a dog is a man's best friend. And that's what this dog is going to be. It's going to be your best friend. It's going to be your teammate. In the military, team is everything. Team is your family as well. This dog is a kind of big part of your family. And it's going to, I think it's going to be immeasurable what you guys are going to get from these animals. And I congratulate you. I thank you for the courage it took to volunteer to serve your country, volunteer for this program, to be here today. Thank you very much.
Dog Dale. When I see these two delightful guys together, it just was made to happen. One night when Aaron was feeling down a little bit, Aaron, who's not the most playful dog, he's pretty serious. he went and got a toy, brought it over to Aaron, put it in his lap. They have that wonderful, wonderful sense of who needs them. So, congratulations, Aaron. Aaron's wife, Jennifer, couldn't be here because of their two small sons and her work and her school. But Jennifer, thank you for coming. Please stand. And the support of the wives, or spouses, and significant others is very, very important. Jacob and Maya. This is Jacob Hyde from Utah. Before the final matches were made, Jacob was calling all the dogs Maya, because he knew that was the one for him. They could always be counted on to push the envelope a little bit. Liz Murray could do that. Maya loves water. Mikey loves water. And Jacob would take her to the edge of a fountain and make her stay and not jump in. And when she did what he wanted, he let her go play. And so she was wet half the time. But we look forward sometime soon to seeing them rappelling together down a rock wall. Although I asked each of the veterans to train a behavior by themselves. And I think Jacob taught his dog to retrieve his phone when it rings, but he really wanted her to train her to take a piece of paper with his telephone number. And it took real courage for her to come to Colorado and participate in this program, but this is one tough lady. She overcame her reluctance, and she absolutely blossomed, and with the help of her new partner, Happy. And we see her happy smile all the time now. Sonia taught her dog Happy to sit in Korean. Congratulations. Who, if he hadn't come together, I would keep him. She's the most adorable dog. And they share the same kind of smile. Chris and his wife, Ann, brought toys to them to the training, and they got the dog. I didn't know this, but they got the dog that's toy crazy. She loves toys. And his wife, Ann, has been here the whole 2 weeks, and it's been essential to the training. Not only as a support to Chris, but as an extra trainer. Ann, come on. Yes, this is for Ann. Oh, because when Chris works for Pepsi, so we hope you'll all drink Pepsi. In his work, he can't always take the dog into food preparation areas. During those times, Athena's going to go with Ann, who works with the elderly in the nursing home. So she's going to have dual duty. Yep. Yep. So, and Ann worked with Maggie, the big golden retriever that some of you have seen here. While she was here, well, Michelle's not willing to let Maggie go. Maggie too. Congratulations. She's such a cutie.